Hi guys, I'm pretty excited to show you today how to create interactive AI shell, something like Warp or other app that you can write the natural language commands and they are executed in the system, so you can manage your computer or write applications whatsoever. It's super easy tutorial. It's gonna take like 100 or something like this lines of code, so it's super easy because we are using this project called Interpreter-Tools. You can find it on GitHub. Code-Interpreter-Tools is MIT licensed, fully open source. And what this project is doing is basically managing the Docker containers for executing the code snippets generated by AI. So you can very safely execute the shell commands, code commands, whatever AI generates for you in any language, Python, Ruby, Node.js, shell, whatever, safely execute in the container, so it doesn't have the direct access to your computer, but rather it starts or uses from the dynamic pool containers that are executed and deleted when they are not necessary needed. It's very easy to use. You can find some examples here, and one of the coolest examples I'm pretty excited about is this interactive shell I'm gonna show you today. So first, let's go to Visual Studio, and maybe I will just run it so you can find how cool it is. So I'm doing this by executing ERTS node examples, interactive shell example, TypeScript. Code interpreter tools are compliant with Vercel AI. So if your application is using Vercel AI with code interpreter tools, you can extend your app by the possibility to run the snippets, use the shell very safely inside Docker containers, very fast because we are using pools of the Docker containers pre-warmed. So the execution usually takes way less than 50 or 60 milliseconds per snippet. So I think it's pretty good result. But let's get back to this interactive shell. So we are already in. And what can I do here is I can virtually use the natural language to communicate with my computer. So I can do something like list me all the files. The files will be listed from this directory. It's temporary directory, and this whole application is limited to this directory because only this directory is mounted to the Docker container that will be used for executing this command. So first we are asking AI, ChatGPT in this case, for the shell command, and it generates the shell command for us, which is simply like ls/la, and I have this listing. So this is what I have in this folder. I can easily check it. So this is my folder, and only the code generated by AI is here, which is absolutely fine. Now we can do something more crazy. So for example, if you want to generate something, we can say something like generate a file called people JSON, including 40 random names of people. It's generating the code right now to execute this task, and this code will be immediately executed, and the file should be immediately created. As you can see, it has done it using the shell command. By the way, it uses APK, which is package manager for Alpine Linux, to install the missing JQ package and then use it to generate the people JSON. And you have this as a structured output. If you look at the source code of this example, you can see that the files generated by those AI tools are actually very easily accessible here, so you can copy it to somewhere or whatever. I will ask it to show me the content. So show me the content of people JSON, and here we go. We can do something more complex as well. So if you ask the shell to like get the HTML title content from, should be probably also be okay with that. Also use it shell, because shell is preferred by this preference is just set here in this prompt. So by the way, let's go for a quick code review of this example. It's actually pretty easy, because the massive amount of this code we have here is actually for formatting the UI. The code interpreter part is very short. So here you're creating the AI tool. As I said, it's compliant with Vercel AI. We set this strategy per session, meaning that the containers are reused in the single session, so they are not created like crazy amount of them. So here in this interactive shell, when I type info, which is special command, I see that only one container was actually used for generating all those things before. If we're gonna use some different programming language, in a second I will show you how to generate a charts using Python. It will create another container, but still, when you get back to Bash, it's gonna reuse this one, Python the other one, and so on. So it's pretty well optimized. So you're creating this session, and then you simply ask the users about the prompt. They want to execute, adding some instructions, like we add instruction that try to use shell or Python. Here is your context, so the previous comments executed, and if you need to generate files, use the structure, and that's it. And we simply use the generate text from Vercel AI to make it happen. Here is some UI display. The entire interactive shell is only 300 lines of code, where I think we can shorten it up to like 100 if we delete all this UI fancy stuff. So another thing I'm gonna show you is that we can also run some more complex snippets. So for example, I can say something like generate for me a chart displaying random average monthly temperatures in Warsaw. I guess it's gonna generate a Python script plotting this chart and saving it to PNG file, but let's wait a moment to check. As you can imagine, this code interpreter package is pretty cool if you have some data to analyze. So you can include your files within this workspace directory and ask the AI to generate the whole scripts, to read the files, to do some charts, do some calculations, all of this kind of stuff. And it will be safely executed within Docker containers, so there is no risk your server gonna be hurt or your computer gonna be hurt. So I think this is really cool. Oh, it generated the script, executed it, but it didn't save it to the file. So we fix it, explicitly saying like, and save this chart to PNG file. We didn't get the output because the output is an image, and it was skipped because it's not text. But right now it's doing virtually exactly the same thing, but as you see, it generated the file, and we open it. we can see this chart. This is of course random data, but still like looks pretty cool. And you don't have to have any knowledge about how doing charts in Python whatsoever. I think it's pretty cool. Go to catchthetornado.com and our GitHub to check out Code Interpreter Tools and play with it. Thank you very much and see you soon. Bye bye.